So, Mr. Leonard Adams, we are in the West Side neighborhood, right?
That's
Or
correct.
community, really. It's bigger than just one or two neighborhoods.
Mhm.
What's here? What kind of describe this beautiful community?
In 2008 and 2009, with the housing crisis, it was depopulated because of a lot of the predatory lending that was going on. A lot of the homeowners were displaced or they were fraudulent. So we are really rebuilding this community. So we're excited to see some of people return to the West Side, some new people, first timers move into the West Side. But the West Side is made up of the home of Dr. King, his adult home, and his wife and children lived over here. The streets are named after historians and civil rights activists. So we're on Joseph Lowry and Joseph Boone, and so it's a side of town that has a story, and I think it will continue to have a story. And it's home to myself as well.
And it will continue to have a story as long as people like you are here to kind of keep it from dying off. As you mentioned, like in many neighborhoods across the nation, historically Black communities, working class communities, people tend to forget about them. Here comes the big money. Let's redevelop. And what that really means is a lot of the folks who've been there for generations can't afford to be there. Talk to me about what you're doing with Quest Community Development.
Well, to that point, yes, new investments, gentrification, bubbles. We want the improvements for this community, for this side of town, but the market somehow finds its way to not care for lower paying residents or marginalized neighborhoods. It just wants to bring in all of the higher end improvements. And what Quest is doing is we're looking at a more of a holistic community, a mission driven community, a resilient community that's made up of choice for all and not just the highest paying tenant, the highest paying homeowner. We believe that for a true community of choice, you're going to have a mixed bag. And so Quest, we know that the market will take care of that higher end. We've concentrated on the lower end or middle to lower end. And that's where we've made our name, serving some of the most vulnerable and lower income individuals on the West Side and throughout Atlanta, Georgia. We've made a name for ourselves in housing the unhoused, which is not something that the market seems like it wants to produce an option of housing for this particular group. So we've made that our mission to make sure that unhoused individuals, vulnerable populations, and underhoused individuals have a place to stay.
In this current environment, talking about the unhoused, there's a movement straight from the president's office to, put homeless people, people without homes in jail, or people who are have mental diminishing capabilities, put them in quote unquote insane asylums. You are doing and have been doing the exact opposite. Tell me about what the people that live here in this area.
Yeah, you can't you can't jail your way out of the unhoused, right? You can't hospital your way out of the unhoused. You have to house the unhoused. It's cheaper, right? It's more affordable to just help develop housing for this population and support the services that's going to be needed, long-term services. Some of these individuals are disabled from birth. These are not just able-bodied people that have no aspirations. Some of these individuals are dealing with some major mental health disabilities, chronic substance use, addictive diseases, developmental disability, that some of them have been like this their entire life. So we can't just look at the unhoused and think that when we see a panhandler that is looking physically like they should be able to work, we also got to think about the mind, right? It's not just the whole body that's working out here. You got to be able to think and process and have some kind of skills to be able to hold down a job, to understand a job. Now, I'm not trying to give anybody a pass, but I don't like to see when we just think send them to jail or send them to the hospital. That's not the answer.
Right, right. And most times people just really want a chance. Um, the residents, list them off for me. How many residents do you have, and how many do you have under construction?
Oh, yes. Oh, so let's start with uh, our portfolio. Our portfolio, we're made up of a mixed community of small multifamily apartment communities for over the last 24 years. We've had properties that's 2 units on up to now our largest have 139 units that's under construction today with a church called Simpson Street Church of Christ. And this is our faith-based initiative. And this is trying to get higher education institutions, black churches, other churches involved with the land that they own to partner with a developer like Quest to provide a solution for a community when it comes to housing. But our portfolio right now, we're over 500 units that we house individuals. These are primarily single individuals that have come from being unhoused. Until here recently in 2020, right before COVID hit, we had started to look at entire families as a service delivery model for us. Before that, we were only dealing with individuals, a chronically homeless individual that was living with a mental illness or a substance addiction.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who are the people that are here in terms of some of the personalities that are here? I'm sure that you could tell us lots of stories of success stories of
Yes.
people who've gone from the streets, so to speak, to now they have a job and they're being taken care of. They're taking care of themselves, actually.
Oh, yeah, we have plenty successes, plenty ups, and plenty downs. I mean, I could just, at one point in time, 24 years ago, every resident that came to Quest, I would make it my business to go over and meet them at whatever property that they were in, introduce myself, and tell them that we're here for them to give them an olive branch. Obviously, we've gotten a lot larger, and I don't get a chance to do that as often as I like. I've shifted to more of understanding how to set vision for this company, for my staff and my team. I really think about our team more nowadays because this is their livelihood. These individuals have made a commitment to work here, and it's my job to make sure that this company is around so that they can do the specialized work that they do. So they're the ones that are working with these families and these individuals to help them better their situation, whatever that may be. It might be finances. We may be helping individuals get their Social Security benefits or their VA benefits. But it might be, I don't want to be homeless anymore. It might be that I wanted to go cook a meal in my own kitchen because I haven't been able to do that because I've been living in a shelter or I've been living outside. So we have plenty of successes from just coming off of the street to being housed to people restarting their careers, people getting married, people starting companies. You name it, we've seen individuals really just continue to surprise us what they can become with just a hand up.
Now, I'm not a um, real estate agent or a developer or an economist, but a lot of people would look at this area and go, you know what? Why would we redevelop and kind of keep the property value sort of affordable when we could like turn this around and like, $2-3 million homes in Atlanta, one of the most up and coming cities in the US? What would you say to somebody to say, why you do this?
You know what? I get that question all the time. I was actually being interviewed one time when we first built the Quest Community Complex 1 and 2, which is home to West Side Works, which is a Arthur Blank initiative for workforce development when the stadium was built. And we were building that development with support from Invest Atlanta. And the news reporter at that time, before we aired, asked, why would you invest over here? The need is here. That's why the investment is needed and should be mandated. It's the right thing to do. Also, what we learn in our business schooling and our teachings is that most companies look at the first line on the triple bottom line. The triple bottom line, the first level is financial. Seems like companies stop there. As long as it can make money, make profit, we're good. But there's two more lines to the triple bottom lines. You got the environment, which is second. Sometimes companies default into supporting and impacting the environment in a positive way. They might do green initiatives inside of their development. But the third line is social. What is your social impact as a company to the community that you're developing in? And we weigh that very heavily. We almost start with the reverse of this triple bottom line. Yes, as a nonprofit, we need money to do what we need to do. We need to be able to pay our talented staff to be able to do what they do. Sure, we want to impact the environment, but we are trying to serve a group that is needed, and we want the social impact. If we can do that well, the sticks and bricks gives us the bifurcated model of revitalization. Just by building some of these new buildings drives change or indicates to the market that change is here. So we're concerned about what's going on in the inside. It seems like the outside of the building has a way of telling what's going on. Change is coming. Transformation is here. We just want to make sure that what's going on in the inside can match what the sticks and bricks are saying on the outside.
That's right. You know, it makes me think of places like, we're from most recently moved here from Denver, and you go up to places like Aspen, and a lot of the workers there, the people that keep the restaurants going and the ski lifts, they don't live in Aspen because they can't afford to live in Aspen.
Correct.
So they're outside, have to drive in or somehow mass transit in to the places that they work, and
Yes.
that is not really sustainable.
Correct.
So doesn't it, and maybe this is what you're saying, doesn't it make sense to within the city have places, because not everybody's going to be living in a $1.2 million mansion
Right.
or a bungalow that is, $1.2 million.
Exactly.
So you have this diversity of economics that really is the engine to make a whole city successful.
Yes. Yeah, you hit it on the head. A new constructed large $1.2 million mansion. What was key in that statement that you made was it's still this $1.2 million bungalow. What happened to, why can't we have a discipline of different housing stock that doesn't have to stay at the same value in a sense? Why is that bungalow that's a 2-1 just because another $4,000, $5,000 mansion is built because it's on the same street? How does that bungalow have to cost the exact same? It still has quality and value, but why? Why is it at 1.2? Why is the market saying that all sizes that's on this street, regardless of the sizes, are going to be the same cost, right? We got to have more of a mixed community, or we're going to continue to have people live elsewhere and transport themselves into these areas like Vine City, English Avenue. We have two rapid transit stations here. They're building a third one. We have MARTA here. We are right off the corridor from downtown with Northside Drive. It's a community that is sought after, right? But again, the market only wants to bring what it wants to bring. So someone has to be intentional and purposeful about making sure that there is a other bookend to the market. And that's where Quest is here to stay for the next 25 years, hopefully, to continue to make sure that affordability is here, choice is here, and that there is a selection of housing stock here.
I think I just have one last question. Somebody may be watching and they say, I never really thought of the fact that I don't have to just always build in Buckhead or Aspen or, Madison Avenue or what have you, that I can make these other neighborhoods that are struggling, make them economically solid
Yes.
and stable. But I don't really know how to do that without giving a whole economic, uh, graduate lecture.
Yes.
Where can they go? Where can people go and make this moment of change and realize we've got to wake up and take advantage of, the community that's in front of us and protect various cultures
Yeah.
and create a movement? What should they do? Where should they go?
Well, first of all, you got to talk to your friends and your friends and coworkers, and you have to make This is for a family or an individual, not an organization. Let's just talk about that person, that family that's needing to say, I want to make some change. I'm gonna be intentional about moving to the west side. Because today it's not 100% quote unquote without challenges. So someone has to say, I'm willing to move there and deal with uh, whatever may happen in that community. So you got to make your decision. You got to talk to your people. When you're having a real estate agent, you got to say, look at these areas, because they won't show you these areas, especially if you're a person with resources. Sometimes they won't show you these underserved communities or these marginalized communities because they think your income is saying you don't want to be in these type of neighborhoods. So you got to say, hey, I'm interested in all these neighborhoods. Let me make my choice on where I'm going to be. Now, for a company or a development organization or development company, for profit or nonprofit, this is the type of community that is in need of what we do for a living. The difference is, I believe, as a nonprofit, we are here and going to develop when the market and the times are saying it's not right. It's not, and the only thing they mean by it's not right is that it's not safe. It's not going to make you as much money, right? That's when we develop. That's when we do our hard work. The market says buy, hold. When it kind of changes a little bit, we'll tell you when it's safe and it's for when you can make more money. And that's really just the difference here. Some companies want to wait until they can make all the money in these type of communities, and some say, I'm going to jump in now and I'm going to be that change. I'm going to be that change that makes a difference over here. And that's from somebody moving in with their family. Like me, I live over here with my family. I have a 4-year-old, a wife, that sometimes it's challenging for us to open that front door and see what's going on outside of that, right? But we got another neighbor across the street with 2 boys, and they're saying the same thing. Hey, let's stick this out together, right? Let's let these boys grow up so that they can be friends and maybe live in this community. This is a good community. You got the AU Center right down the street. You got historic greats that lived in this community. What happened, right? We got to pass that baton. That's us. So now we got to make history and make change here so that our young ones can say, Tamara Banks lived on this side of town. Leonard Adams lived on this side of town, right? I get honored when I drive down and see that Dr. King lived 3 blocks from my house. 3 blocks from my house. I am honored that my organization's headquarters that I worked so hard to build is on Joseph E. Lowry Boulevard. I know these names. I grew up knowing these names. It's almost like I know them. That's what I want for the end of this, is that somebody will say, I knew Leonard Adams. He used to live right there, and he did that. And I'm going to stay here and do it now because he did it and those shoulders before him. Thank you.
Let's go see Ms. Joyce.
Joyce Smith, lovingly known as Ms. Joyce, is one of the residents at the Grove Park Quest residences. She loves her balcony, along with peace of mind. Almost homeless just a few years ago, she says it feels good to have someone like Leonard Adams in her corner that she can trust.
He stood by his word the whole time, and that means a lot. Whether you happen to be homeless or in any other situation, if someone says, I can help you, and step out to do that and not put curves in the road that's not there, that means an awful lot. It's peace of mind. So I'm working, and now I have a home to go to. Peace of mind across the board. It's nothing like it.
Adams says it doesn't take much money to make a difference in someone's life or the community.
And we don't think past the dollar sometimes. I mean, we education, health, as you stated, housing. It's just surface level, right? It's just surface level. It's a group of people out here that don't have don't have some of the basic rights that we kind of take for granted. I think housing is a right. We were not born and were supposed to live outside. So how are so many people living outside? What's going on? What's happening? Okay, you can blame it on them, but where's our system that says I'm going to help that group, right? Where is our system? Jail can't be the answer. Again, hospitals can't be the answers. So it's just amazing how shallow sometimes or surface level we are with some main things that's in our lives that make us who we are today.
When we think about investing in neighborhoods,
Yes.
it's not just the money is the bottom line.
Yeah.
There's more to the investment. Tell me about that.
Yeah, when you think about investing in the community, you know, I'm a product of business, and I like to look at the triple bottom line. Basically, makes financial sense, makes environmental sense, but it has to make social sense, right? I think sometimes that social piece kind of goes out the windows, or it's just uh, a small amount of attention put to it. Hey, I'll go to the community meeting and just tell the community, hey, I'm developer ABC and I'm coming to the community and I want to build this. The zoning is already there for you to build it. You got the money to build it, right? You're doing some green initiatives. So what the community says, you're just checking the box that you went to the community, right? That's not social enough, right? That's not social. What's going on around what you're building the building? I had a great developer. He's long past now. His name was Noel Khalil. His statement used to always say, he's building cathedrals for God's people. That was his tagline, right? And one time, rest his soul, we were out and we were looking at a property, and next door it was drug selling going on, pit bull fighting going on, prostitutes on the corner, and he just couldn't stay focused, and he wasn't focused in on what I was saying about I want to build right here with this church. I want to build right here housing, and we left, and he called me right after we left. He said, "We need to go back." He said, "This is how I started." His company is about maybe 12 years older than Quest. He said, "Well, this is how I started," and he used these words. He said, "I got bougie, Leonard." He said, "You meet me back out there. I'm not going to look at those guys on the corner over there. We're going right back." And he turned around and we went back and we looked at that. And now we have that project in our pipeline. So that goes to show you that, the social piece is right outside your front door. You don't have to dig far in communities like this. As soon as you come to show up with your shovel, something's going to say we need help with. And it could be as far as road widening or advocating for sidewalks or advocating for ADA compliance on sidewalks or more street lighting. It don't have to be a heavy lift like Quest, dealing with substance abuse, mental illness, PTSD, veterans, seniors. You don't have to go that deep, but you got to go more than just we went to the community and said hello, right?
Right.
Yeah.